So if you are in the Spring Boot JDBC, then you have a possibilities closing the options. That means combination of option or individual option. That means option means here the JDBC template, naming parameter JDBC template, simple JDBC template, or simple JDBC insert, or simple call JDBC, and then RMD object including mapping SQL query and SQL update and stored procedure. So that is all the combination. That's I said. In the enterprise level application or our daily and day by day application, we normally use our any combination. Some cases we JDBC, some case simple JDBC, some case name parameter JDBC, some cases of the other approach we use integrate. But it depends your approach, or how you try to implement your features or your functionalities, or how to try to expose your endpoints, on how efficient you try to render your data sets, or your caching your data set, depending which approach you are and how you are. This depend on yourself. Just think about that. But there's many. Sometimes we combine it, as I said. Sometimes individuals. It works. That's I mean. So, and if you see that this is one of the most important example that I try to. So in my screencast number in my channels, I already published 30.30.6, and this is the one of the most important application. I try to expose all the was OpenStreetMap spatial or maps data sets, and as REST endpoints, and this is the architectures, and that case I use the template. It's JDBC template for connecting my PostGIS and PostGIS data sets, and I can define my all queries, because this was the idea, one of the requirement, or the idea to expose the OSM OpenStreetMap data set and make a portal, maybe portal for your country or city. Maybe portal for you all the road networks like primary, secondary, tertiary road, or all the buildings information for your country, even though in city level, because OpenStreetMap or GeoFabric, there is a German company, they have really big open data sets or open source data set. You can integrate those data sets and use your application. That's why I did this. I take the data set or shapefile or GIS data set into my database, PostGIS and PostGIS database, and expose those data sets REST point and REST API, and later I will integrate those REST API into as a Timeleap as a template engine, and I will show you later this one. So this is what the architecture. We have integrated those data sets into different environments like development, test, and QA and production environments, and after that from this database we expose the with the JDBC Spring Data JDBC connections, we expose the REST endpoints. After that, we use those REST API as a jar files, as a deployment, as a jar pack as the deployment. That's I said we did it here deployment, and then after that I use these jar files or this application into the GUI developments. That was just follow the look for the my screencast my channels 31.36. This is the how can you expose your data set as a REST exposure or REST publication or REST published those data sets. And here is the one of the examples. So we from 30.1.36, and it was the REST endpoints publications and testing, and this is the 7.3012 for the Timeleap based GUI or UI implementation, because that time I did the Timeleap. Even though if you have this REST endpoints, you can use the Angular, TypeScript, Angular, or even though React tips or other template engines, or any JavaScript based framework. Very quickly call the REST and build your pages. In one example, you see the OSM OpenStreetMap road networks, buildings, land use, POIs, and places, and point of interest means nature and railways and waterways. So all I expose those data sets as REST and REST services, and call the REST services into my Timeleap template engine. And just follow the screencast number 31.3012. There is a how can you expose the REST services, and how can you consume those REST services into the uTime-Live template engine or other template engine, other GUI or UI framework. Just follow those complete screencast from 1 to 12, and that's, I think that's you can get the clear idea how can you do and how can you build those services. And this is the comparison between the template and repositories. That's how I said in last screencast number 30. There's a detailed theoretical discussion and practical example how what is the difference between the template pattern and the repository API. So following the standard template pattern is Spring and provides a ready to go in API, and this is the Java Spring Data centric approach. So this is the complex API, but it is flexible to do your works. It is very efficient repository APIs for the repository, for the CRUD repository, and then you have basic sorting repository, JPA repository, and other database based repositories. So you see that mostly SQL, non-SQL, SQL and SQL script based, and this is the GOM or object relational mapping, and GROM means Groovy object relational mapping. These are the technology based on Groovy, and combine monolithic microservice architecture, mainly focus on the repositories of microservice application. That was the idea.